I wanna stay in the spotlight. Stay in the spotlight. I wanna stay in the spotlight.
What is up? My name is Nick. I'm here in Hollywood, California on a famous strip in Beverly Hills. This is where the celebrities come to get their stuff. Because after all, that's kind of what Hollywood's all about, isn't it? It's about making money, it's about getting famous, making a name for yourself. This is also where we get so much of our inspiration on how we live our lives. We watch TV, we watch the celebrities walking down the red carpets, showing off their newest clothes, their newest toys, cars, jewelry. I just read an article about one of these celebrities was walking around with an $80,000 bracelet, $80,000 around her arm. I can't even imagine, I would be freaking out. And this is the idea of the American dream right here. And I think it's so easy for us to get sucked into it. I mean, think about it. You're going to school right now so that you can get good grades, so that when you get good grades, you can get into a good college, so that you can get a good job, so that you can make a lot of money, so you can get that big house you always wanted with the white picket fence, the little dog, the wife, the car, and the 3.18 children, I believe, is the average right now. I don't know how you have 0.18 children, but that's the American dream right there. Maybe that's not what you want in your life, but I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that pressure. Maybe your parents are kind of pushing you to make sure you always get the A. Maybe it's a teacher or a coach that wants you to do the best that you can so you can have the best life when you get older. The American dream is all about getting stuff. It's all about materialism. It's all about selfishness. The American dream originated back in the 1600s when people were exploring America and trying to find land so that they could have houses and businesses. It was this whole idea of trying to get stuff that will make your life happy. It was all about settling on a particular land, getting a business going so that you can make some money, and it was all about the pursuit of happiness. There's a story in the Bible about this rich guy who has everything that he could ever imagine. He comes up to Jesus and he asks him a question. He says, "Hey Jesus, I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I've been living this really good life. What else must I do to get to heaven?" Jesus responds to him. He says, "Go and sell all your possessions and give to the poor and come follow me." That's a really important statement that Jesus says. He says, "Go sell all your possessions and come follow me." What's so interesting about this response is that Jesus didn't say this to people too often. A lot of times he would say, "Go and leave your life of sin," or "Go and tell no one what I've done." But here he's telling this guy to go and sell his possessions and come follow him. You know what this guy's response was? He went away sad because he was holding on so tightly to his wealth. Let me ask you a question. Do any of you know what this guy's name is? Anybody? Shout it out if you know the answer. No? Well, I don't either, because we actually don't see anything else about this guy, which is really sad because Jesus was asking him to follow him. He could have gone on this great adventure and we could have read all about the things that he experienced and lived through with Jesus in the Bible. But we don't, because he chose to go back to the life that he knew and hang on to all his fortune. I remember there was a time in my life when I was chasing so hard after the American dream. I just graduated college without taking out any student loans, and I thought it would be a great idea when I got my first job to start buying stuff. So I bought my first car and I got with a couple buddies and we bought a house together. We lived in that house for a little while, but then I thought it was time to go after and buy my dream house. So I looked around the market, and sure enough, I found the house that I wanted. It was perfect for me. It was this huge house. I couldn't ask for anything more. But what was interesting was every night, just about, I would wake up, look around my room, this empty, big shell of a house, and ask myself the question, is there more to life than this? There's got to be more. Well, sure enough, fast forward 2 years from there, and there was more. God called me away from the job that I was working at, and He moved me to another job that was literally hundreds of miles away. And honestly, for the first time in my life, I have no idea what's gonna happen with my future. But I can honestly say, I'm more excited about my future now than I ever have been before. Now is a perfect time for you to discover God's calling in your life. Start to figure out what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing. Life is so much more. It's so much bigger than getting stuff for ourselves. Instead of focusing on making money, focus on making a mark. Instead of going after making dollars, focus on going after making a difference. Here's what it says in 1 Timothy 6, 7 through 10. It says this, "We didn't bring anything into this world, and we won't take anything with us when we leave. So we should be satisfied just to have food and clothes. People who want to be rich fall into all sorts of temptations and traps. They are caught by foolish and harmful desires that drag them down and destroy them. The love of money causes all kinds of trouble." Wanting money isn't a bad thing, but when we let it control us, when everything in our life focuses on trying to be successful and get fortune, that's when it becomes a problem. When I was younger, I was given some pretty good advice from a relative of mine. And he always talked in this really slow, small, gentle voice. And he said to me, he goes, "Nicky," he used to call me Nicky, I'm not sure why, but he would say, "Nicky, let me tell you something. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life." I was thinking about that, and that kind of changed the trajectory of my life. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Now that's mostly true because we'll always have to do stuff we don't really like. But if you love what you do, it's not gonna feel like work to you. So start to discover who God made you to be, what your passions are in your life, and go and do that. Be passionate about those things. But also work hard at where God has you now. Get the good grades, work hard at school, work hard at whatever it is that God has put in front of you because He wants us to do the best for Him. So start to discover who God made you to be and start living out those passions in your life now. Because if you live for Him, I promise you, that will be the best treasure you will ever obtain on this earth.